You ready to film another exciting episode of Real Good at Doing Stuff?
I can't wait.
Gotta be more exciting for Tuesday.
I can't wait.
Okay, good. There we go. All right, then. It's time for another episode of Real Good at Doing Stuff. This time we're back to kind of hardcore tech. I don't know if you guys like this stuff or not. Let me know in the comments. Do you want more hardcore tech? Less? It's hard to say. Probably my subscribers now are different than the original set when I started putting out that kind of type of content, so who knows. But anyhow, we're going to do another one, hardcore tech, about the BeerMoney versus badass radial car that happened a couple days ago. We're going to just cover that from the tech side, and just let me know if you guys like that stuff, want more of that or less of it, just more fire and explosions, or what you're looking for. But anyhow, let's talk about the race between BeerMoney and Jason Dorsey, and specifically about the changes that were made to the car and the tune-up and the strategy, how I'm looking at things going into a situation like that. So first of all, let's open up good old V5 and put this out of the way. Let's find a global file. It's still in the way. It's always in the way. All right. Jason Dorsey is a busted ass .hefi. Boom. Opened up. And we're going to need a data log to look at. Open data log. Whoa. Wrong spot. I got it somewhere else. Where we got it? Oh, it was back there. Yes. Jason Dorsey gets pulled down track by steaming pile of garbage.dl. That's the one. Okay, so here's our data. First, let's look at the tune a little bit. And actually, let's open a comparison file so you can see so let's compare this to something that's probably, here we go. Shady Finals. This is from a few months ago at Shady Side and No Prep Trim. Actually, I think I did an episode about this one. Let's open that finals up just to compare where we are tune-up wise and the changes that are made that are different, right? So the first thing I would say that well, first of all, let's look at the situation. The situation is we have to race a radial car that is probably going to be faster than what we're normally racing, right? Or at least I would hope so, right? And the other thing that means, we're going to be on a radial prep racetrack. And as it turned out, it was. You can see from the video that I posted the other day that there was glue down, which is a totally different situation than we're normally used to with this particular car, right? Now, the things I have to look at from a tuner standpoint are, all right, well, it'd be nice to bolt on radials and this, that, and the other, but we can quickly get into a situation where we kind of outrun our engineering on the race car. BeerMoney is what it is. And the radials will definitely be way faster, but I don't know how good of an idea it is to go that fast with that car. And the other thing is, BeerMoney is going to get in wheelie trouble really quick. So we opt to stay on the slicks, and partly just for the hell of it, and then make small changes, and I kind of know where we're going to be at, right? So we know we're not going to, normally in no prep, we're on the TC the whole way down the track, hammering it. Depending on how tight or loose the track is, it relies heavily on that, right? In this case, that's probably not going to be the case once we get through the 60. It's going to take whatever we can throw at it, right? It's not going to spin anymore. It will wheelie, right? Now, in our case, I have, we'll come back to that in a second. But anyhow, those are things that are in my mind. So the first thing we do with the car is we pull all the weight out of the back of the car. Lyle gets under there and pulls 150 pounds out or so, right? We're not going to need it. The track's going to be sticky. We normally need that weight to help give us a little more traction back there. But we don't need it today. All right, so we do that, tighten the front up a little bit, and those are the main changes to the race car itself, right? We're going to have the tires on the high side of where we run them at. We don't want them any because we're gonna wad this tire up pretty hard, right? We don't want to be on the lower side of pressure because we're going to be putting more power than ever to it, right? So we don't want to make that worse. All right, the other change is we're in the system. I changed the rev limit. This is not right. I changed it from 38 to 39, 100 RPM. All right. Now that's gonna do a couple things. One, it's going to help the car react a little better because you're kind of tightening the converter up, pushing up on a tighter spot there. Car's going to react a little better. And it's going to give us a little power, right? X amount of boost at 3,800 RPM equals a certain shaft speed and a certain fuel flow, right? We change that keep the boost the same, but raise it at 100 RPM. Guess what? That's more power. Right, so we're going to have a little bit of a head start there on a button release. And the other things, I don't think I changed much enough. Okay, I changed. Let's look at, no, not here. Let's look at boost. All right, I changed the boost. What did I change this? I don't even think I changed that. I think I left the starting line boost about the same because we're already kind of up there. I maybe I gave it a half pound, right? Also, keep in mind, these target numbers, this car has the wrong dome pressure sensor in it. So basically give it a 1 bar head start. Meaning that when you it reads 14.5 or whatever as its neutral point. Right, so you have to add. So when it says 7 here, that means 3 or 4 pounds of dome pressure over whatever spring is in there, which is minimal. Right, it's not 17 like you would normally think. It means 3 or 4. Right, if that makes any sense to you. All right, boost versus time. I raise pretty much all of this and bring it in quicker. Right now. Out the back, I put this up to 55. Once again, that would equal 55 minus 15. So if you're in normal terms, that would be 40 pounds on the gate, right? Which is obviously not much for a turbo like this on methanol. Give you an idea of where this turbo is capable of going. It's a lot left in it, right? So that's the equivalent to 40 pounds on the gate. I got 55, which is 40. Which is probably 3 to 5 pounds more than we've ever run in the car, right? So we're going to put more boost in it than we ever have. Not a lot, right? I don't want to just smash the block and just to prove a point. I don't want to do all that. Give it a little bit, and bring it in a little sooner. And I kind of know where we're going to be at when we do that, right? Now, to give you an idea, we can look at a comparison file here. Let's see. Shady Finals, copy to base. Is that the right one? Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, that's it. All right, boost versus time. You can see the difference here. This is the Shady Finals would be the comparison here. That's kind of a typical no prep type after a few rounds tune-up that we might have in the car, right? So this line right here, right? The peak is at 46. That's pretty typical. Some tracks we may have less than that. No Prep Kings, maybe more. But that's kind of average right there. And you can see how the curve is. You can see how much quicker we're bringing it in. Not a whole lot, but a little bit quicker. Friday night or whenever that was. And down here, we're starting basically the same. And we're just trickling it in a little quicker through here. Now, why is that? That's because this car is only going to tolerate so much before we wad the tire up and go into shake and have other problems. Now, if we had radials on it, we're going to take an entirely different strategy down there. We're going to get with it a whole lot more. Can't do that. Car's just going to wheelie. That's not going to work, right? Now, so we have to add power sparingly down there and just kind of deal with it with the way the car is currently engineered. Now, so that's the boost differences. Not huge, really, but a little bit here and there to pick things up. The biggest differences, honestly, are we're going to be on a track that's not going to be slipping the wheel the whole way down, right? So the car is just inherently going to be faster. The same drive shaft speed is going to equal more vehicle speed, right? We're just going to be moving faster. The racetrack's going to fix that problem, not the laptop. All right, the other thing I think I changed was, I put 1 degree up top in timing. So I'm up to 23 degrees. The reason I'm doing this is because it's summertime, the air's terrible. We're burning a lot of water, right? So in my opinion, that 23 is really not even changing anything. It's just keeping things the same. The more water is in the atmosphere, the more you kind of need to lead things a little bit with your ignition. And that's all I'm doing, is compensating for crap air, right? I know that I can put a degree in, and it's really not any more tune-up than it is when good air and I've got less timing in it, right? And you have to keep that in mind as the air moves around. You can move your timing to compensate for it or to make adjustments. So those are the big changes made to the race car. And, nothing crazy, right? We know how fast the car is. I kind of got a pretty good idea how fast it's going to be if we do this, get it on a good track. It's a kind of an educated guess. But anyhow, let's look at the data. All right. We're leaving the line with 7.5 pounds of boost, which is what we leave the line with on our hot no prep deal, right? That will vary 3 pounds probably, depending on what kind of racetrack we're dealing with. The track really not there, we're going to pull that down a good bit, But 7.5 is about as hot as we're generally been leaving with this car. All right. Here's an opportunity for improvement. As we go out, I don't have the profiler data to look at on this pass. But about 4 to 5 tenths in, the thing turns the tire over, which it does quite often. And I normally just stop it with the TC. It catches and keeps going. In this case, it does that, and we stop it with a TC and catch it and keep going. In retrospect, I could have cut the corrections on the TC probably in half, right? And totally controlled the tire and not killed the motor so much. And I bet we would have picked up 4 to 5 numbers in ET from doing that. So if we were to do this again, I would do that. We wouldn't even not to mention there's better slicks for this type of racing that we could have put on where it probably wouldn't have done that in the first place. But even with the same tires and everything, I could change the correction a little bit, probably pick up 4 to 5 numbers, I about guarantee it. And it would just make the car faster. Now, if you look at our RPM graph here, let's turn this off. You can see it's kind of hard to even see the shifts, and some of you noticed in the video that the converter is really loose. Yeah, this is something that I've discussed before. I run a really loose converter in this car because we're no prep racing, right? That softens things up and makes it easier on the tire, right? Once again, if we were radial racing, we would never have a converter like this in here. We'd have a way tighter converter, and that would make the car mile an hour a lot better, you know. But we don't. We got a loose converter, so like here, the shift is at 82. It falls to 79, 300 RPM, you know. And we go out the back at about 84 or so, you know. So it's just kind of sitting on itself. All right, so you see these timing corrections right here. This is all profiler. Just barely nibbling here and here and grabbing it pretty hard right here. Like I say, if I change that, we could probably find some improvement. Down here, we are on the wheelie control, which I knew was going to happen, but I wasn't worried about it because kind of got the wheelie control figured out on this car. And, you know, in this situation, we know we're going to be into it. When the power comes on there, this car's got a high center of gravity, relatively speaking, and it's all got a bunch of glass in it and whatnot. And it's going to pull the car into a wheelie. So, all right, if we look, let's get rid of some of this garbage. We don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Wheelie control. All right, we got pitch. All right, you can see here I've got a table. Actually, maybe I can show you guys this. Oh. Okay. Pitch control. Right here. Okay, so I've got a pitch versus boost time, timing offset. That's how I've been doing it on this car. Now don't like zoom into this and try to copy it and paste it into your car. That's not how this works. Yours is probably going to have to be a little different. I mean, it may work in your car, but all these cars do different stuff with the pitch at different points in the racetrack, and these numbers may not help you at all. They may cause you problems. But anyhow, you can see how this is working. As we get up here, like right here, it's pulling basically half a degree, right? We're just barely getting to this -1 cell right here. Down here, we're halfway between 0 and -5. Down here, once it gets up in here, I'm pulling 5 right away, and then 8, right? We're going to get this thing's attention. And you can see it pulls about 3 or 4 degrees, just enough to calm things down. Right, and it does ride a wheelie through the middle of the track and then sets it down. So that's working like clockwork. That works really, really good. The rest of the pass looks like it should. Got some yaw movement here. If you look at the video, you can see the car move around a little bit. And that's how it is racing with slicks and much power. The only thing worse than that is slicks and no power. They don't really move around. Let's look at boost in general. Pop this up. Boost. All right. The most we got is 39.5. It comes down settles out about 37 and just hangs out right there. 36, 37, all the way out the back. Could make some PID changes here to keep this from over boosting a little bit right there, but I don't really care, and it's working. So, and we're not even going to do this again. Sorry, Jason, you missed your chance. We're not going to try to race every radial car in town. That was just fun for one time. Anyhow, you can see we're kind of out of injector on this dude too. We got billet atomizer 500s in here, and we're at 80% when we do this through here. Let's pull that up. Yep, we're up here in 80% which is about as far as I like to take them. After 80, you can go higher, but it's just not good mojo. It'd be better to put bigger injectors. We got a few we're going to put in the pipe just to do it that way. That works fine too. And we'll leave the 50s in it. But, you know, for most of the no prep stuff, this is plenty of power to get in all kinds of trouble. So it's not even really that much of an issue. All right. Now, one other thing. There's been discussion past a little bit about rocker adjustment affecting push rod, cup life. The position or how your rocker, your adjuster is located in the rocker, up or down, has nothing to do with whether your push rods are eating the tips out. Nothing to do with that. If your engine builder thinks it does, you might want to consider getting a different engine builder, because that's not how that works. Period. Anyhow, that is enough for today. Comment below if you have any questions. I'm gonna try to do like a question and answer video or two. I don't know. Let me know if you guys like those, or if you like this kind of data. Whatever. Just let me know what kind of videos you'd like me to do, and I'll try to do them. Can you do it?